The strange truth you never knew. Part 11. Have you ever done something so many times that your body can do it accurately automatically? Like when you drive from school to home, but in your mind thinking about other things and not paying attention to driving, but still can get home safely because the act of driving has been repeated so many times that it has been ingrained in your subconscious. Your subconscious has recorded and memorized it purposefully. So, gradually, the subconscious can perform that action automatically and attentively without the presence of your conscious mind. The same applies to your breathing and blinking. Normally your body will breathe and blink naturally, but if you pay attention to it, then you will have to consciously breathe and blink, and this will make you very uncomfortable. Strange facts you never knew. Part 12. The mystery of the oldest civilization on the planet. The Sumerians existed more than 7,000 years ago, but they had an understanding of time and created clocks based on the number 60, which today we use to measure minutes and seconds. They even discovered a calendar with 12 different time periods in a year, similar to our current 12 months. Moreover, they created the first complete writing system in human history and used it to record literature, art, law. They were also proficient in arithmetic, geometry, and taught these in schools. They invented the wheel by themselves. Underground water systems and numerous other complex tools. They knew how to compose and enjoy music with more than 20 different tunes. Women of that time even owned a variety of cosmetics used for makeup. Despite such advanced civilization, the strangest part is that they did not acknowledge themselves as the authors of these inventions, but they claimed that all their knowledge was taught by an entity from outer space named Anunnaki. The strange truth you never knew. Part 13. The Sumerians, the oldest civilization in human history, existed more than 7,000 years ago, but they even knew in advance about the cataclysm that occurred before their civilization more than 5,000 years ago, an event that is now mentioned by many religions and people around the world. And it's quite fitting that recently, many scientists have presented evidence of a phenomenon similar to the cataclysm that happened around that time. Not only that, they also knew about the Earth's axial cycle every 26,000 years, which means they also knew that every 72 years the Earth will tilt by 1%. And how did they achieve that? They also had clear knowledge about all the planets in the solar system. According to their records, the solar system at that time also had another planet known as Nibiru. They said that teaching advanced knowledge beyond their time, and they said taught them all the advanced knowledge beyond their time. And you know what? The Sumerians had their own construction project, their own tower, and it was built based on sacred geometry. Even it had a landing pad for Anunnaki's flying ships. What is really odd is that the US government has been secretly purchasing ancient Sumerian texts for up to $3 million.
The strange fact you've never known. Part 14. If we lost our perception of time.
To answer this question, explorer Christian Claude conducted an experiment called Deep Time. In this experiment, he and 14 other volunteers lived in a cave for 40 days, not wearing watches, not using phones, not seeing sunlight, and having no contact with the outside world. They had enough food supplies for 40 days, but they had to collect water deep in the bottom of the cave and use a bicycle generator to generate their own electricity. They learned to live together and finish tasks without even realizing how long it has been. When the experiment was nearing completion, the explorer realized that the lack of data inputs lead to perception distortion of time, like clocks or sun, thereby distorting the team's perception of time. Despite being in the cave for 40 days, most of the members only slept 30 times, which shows that time for them passed very slowly. After the experiment ended, many members said it was like hitting the pause button in life, and in that period, they no longer knew what time was.
The strange fact you never knew, Part 15. Socotra, the island. The weirdest planet, it's dubbed an extraterrestrial island or a prehistoric island because it boasts very strange scenery completely different from the rest of the world. The Dragon's Blood Tree Forest is the only one found here that resembles a mushroom forest. Another corner of the island looks nothing like a prehistoric landscape. It's special because there are up to 700 species of fauna and flora here, but up to a third of them cannot be found anywhere else on Earth apart from this island. If one day you suddenly woke up on this island, you might think you've been transported to another planet.
Strange fact that you never knew. Part 16. Super sauper type of fish that causes extremely strong hallucinations for those who eat it. It is surprising that the ancients learned about that strange hallucinogenic effect when eating this fish. Specifically, in the period of the Roman Empire, it was used to induce hallucinations for spiritual rituals. A few people even know how to use it for fun. At this time, some cases of accidental ingestion of this fish have encountered extremely frightening experiences. Some say they fall into extremely monstrous nightmares from seeing giants screaming to skies full of birds. Screaming knives or so attacked by countless spiders. Terrifying is, that nightmare lasted more than 2 days to end, and strange. Some scientists have found the molecular structure of DMG in the brain of this fish. The question here is, what is so special about DMG that is present in the bodies of so many organisms?
Strange facts you never knew. Part 17. You can only see 0.0035% of this reality, but what humans can see with the naked eye only falls within the visible spectrum, also known as visible light. And what is visible is just a very small part of the electromagnetic spectrum, things like ultraviolet rays, infrared, gamma rays, X-rays, microwaves. They are always around us right now, but we can't see them because they are beyond the evolutionary capabilities of the human eye, so we cannot see them. Similarly, there could be a lot of things happening around us right now, on this earth, right around you, that you can't possibly see with the naked eye, and there might be other species able to see things we can't see. And sometimes supernatural phenomena like souls or demons that are usually called superstitions are also off the visible spectrum.
Strange truth you never knew, part 18. The ancient Egyptians had a surprisingly advanced form of medicine. They were the first civilization in the world to know how to perform surgery on a human skull. You heard me right. There's evidence and research showing about 5,000 years ago, the ancient Egyptians could drill and repair human skulls. They even understood the connection between the brain and the spine, at the same time had sophisticated and diverse medical tools for surgery. Astonishingly, they also knew very well how the heart and circulatory system worked. In addition, they knew how to fix teeth with needles and attach stones to their teeth for decoration. Amazingly, they also had a spiritual remedy. It was crafted from a species of plant called the Tree of Life. And you know what? This medicine contains DMT, a substance that can supposedly awaken the third eye, and according to their records, this remedy could cure the human mind, increase spiritual awareness, even allow them to communicate with beings of a higher order.
The strange fact you never knew, part 19. You and your brain may be two entirely separate entities.
The brain can process vast amounts of information that our body's senses gather, such as things you see, hear, smell, or touch. These physical signals are easy for the brain to process because this information is directly fed from every field into the brain. However, when you close your eyes and think of something random, at that time you are asking your brain to imagine that random thing. In that situation, the brain is no longer processing information coming from the external environment, but it is responding to a request from within it. So where does that request come from within the brain? Given that its main function is to process information, the question here is whether we are not the brain, and whether we are entirely separate from it, and maybe even above it, able to order it.
The strange fact you never knew, part 20.
This is why the brilliant scientist Nikola Tesla was so obsessive about the number 369. He once said if one could understand the marvels of the number 369, you would unlock the secrets of the universe. To grasp this, we need to understand that man did not create mathematics. We discovered it because it is a universal law governing the universe. It is the language of the universe. Below is what Tesla discovered. When you double 1, you get 2, double 2, and you get 4, double 4, and you get 8, double 8 equals 16. The total of 16 is 7. Double 7 equals 14. The total of 14 is 5. Double 5 equals 10. The total of 10 brings us back to the number 1, and this pattern continues endlessly without the numbers 369 ever appearing. The intriguing part is that when you double 3, you get 6, and when you double 6, you get 12. The total of 12 is 3. These two numbers depend on each other, with 9 being the highest standalone number. If 3 and 6 are yin and yang, 9 is the supreme entity that governs the entire universe. Tesla stated that these three numbers exist in a higher dimension, dominating our three-dimensional world we live in.